What's up, guys? This is Dan for BladeReviews.com. Back once more with another knife review this time around. We're going to be checking out the Zero Tolerance 0562 CF. This is the, as of the time of this video, latest collaboration between Rick Hinderer Knives and Zero Tolerance. And this is perhaps their most exciting offering to date because it most closely mirrors Rick's coveted and previously reviewed XM18 3.5 inch slicer flipper here, and this 0562 gets closer and closer to the real thing, and for many folks that's hugely exciting. And what makes this knife even more interesting is how in many ways it exceeds the original XM18. So just a very cool knife, very excited to share it with you today. Let's rattle off some quick specs. As you can imagine, this knife is pretty similar to the XM18. Both have 3.5 inch blades, overall lengths of 8.25 inches, and the weight, believe it or not, is similar on these. They're both right around 5.5 ounces. So I find that interesting because I view the XM as a much more heavily built knife, but I guess this 0562 just carries it a little bit better. So, alright, whatever that's worth. Let's pull the XM off the table and take a look at our drop point bladed 0562 here. And perhaps the first thing you'll notice is this really pretty satin finish. I need to start by saying that the 562 comes in two flavors here. This is the fancy pants carbon fiber version. It's got a satin finished M390 blade and a carbon fiber handle scale. You've got a less expensive version with a G10 handle scale and stone-washed LMAX blade, I believe, on that. So a couple different grades. I went for the bling bling on this one, and I'm glad I did. It's a really pretty blade here. Really shows off Zero Tolerance's machining capabilities. Wonderful slicer grind, just like Rick's slicer XM18. High flat grind, drop point blade, slices pretty well, and the big deal about this is the M390 blade steel, which is a super steel, very hard steel, known for its edge retention. This is about as good as it gets in the edge retention department. It's a beast to sharpen. I don't look forward to doing that, but it will outlast a lot of other knives with this very hard, very edge holding kind of blade here. So very, very fancy. Let's take a look at the handle here, and you've got carbon fiber, as I've said before, over a liner here, a stainless steel liner, and then you've got the titanium frame lock. Should be no surprise there, just like the XM18. And it's been nicely contoured. You'll notice that it doesn't have the crazy 3D machining of the 0560. I think that may have been done in part to keep the price down on these. Price on these is very reasonable, and that's also appealing. I can't remember what I paid for this, but you can get them around $200, I think. So right around there. And for a made in the USA knife with all these features and all these high-end materials and finishes, that's very impressive. Very, very impressive. So the handle is nicely made. You've got several standoffs here. They're not as chunky as the original XM standoffs, but you get a lot of that spirit. Of course, you've got the Hinderer lock bar stabilizer and a nice big decorative pivot. So you do get a lot of really nice touches on this knife. The titanium is stone washed, giving it kind of a worn look, so you can carry it a little bit easier. And just a beautiful but simple handle here. The pocket clip is a very discreet, deep carry, reversible, tip-up only pocket clip, and you can swap it. It's got an interesting system here where the pocket clip integrates into the rear standoff and allows for a very discreet deep carry, which for somebody like me who's more of a suburban kind of guy, that's nice. I like having something a little more discreet. And of course, it's very secure in your pocket. It's a nice stiff pocket clip that's been given kind of a stone washed, kind of worn look, which is nice as well. So carries well. It is 5.5 ounces, so it's a heavy knife, but it's thin. It's thin, especially when you compare it to something like the XM, the original here. It's much thinner, so it's going to carry better, and for my kind of carry at least. And it's something that you may be able to justify toting around in your pocket every day. For deployment, you've got the flipper, and despite having what appear to be thumb studs, they're not. They're just blade stops. And it's an amazing flipper, just a rocket flipper, just like a lot of the other high-end Kershaw, not Kershaw, but ZT offerings that I've exhibited on my channel here and on the website. It's just a rocket, and just like the 454 and the 801, I mean, really they've dialed in this detent, and you've got something that is truly spectacular in the deployment department. It does run on KVT, that's a caged bearing system, super smooth, super smooth, and that's nice to see too. So you're getting all the goodies here. The blade just falls shut, and it's very nice. Lockup, you've got your reinforced frame lock here. It's got a stainless steel lock bar insert, which you can kind of see in the light, and it's very early, very solid and secure lockup. Again, zero tolerance is no stranger to engineering high-end frame locks and high-end frame lock flippers, so it's what you would expect. It's awesome. They've done just a great job with the deployment and lockup on this knife. And that kind of takes us through all the features. So some parting thoughts on the 0562. Wow, it really, I think they did a great job with this knife. Part of me was kind of tired of ZT Hinderer collabs. Oh, another collab. I mean, they're great, but what else are they going to be able to do here? Well, they've definitely upped their ante and are clearly capable of delivering a superior product and building on their previous successes here. And what they've got for us is definitely justifiable. I think if you've already got a 0560, I could justify getting a 0562. I think it's a different knife. I think that they've made some really nice refinements. I think it's, while still substantial and over 8 inches long, 5.5 ounces, while still a big knife, it's something that you could possibly carry if you're more of a suburban or urban kind of guy. You don't necessarily have to work at the fire department to justify carrying something like this. It is a little more friendly to the pocket. It's a little bit more discreet. It certainly has a lot of fidget factor to it with the rocket launcher deployment and bearing system. So it's a fun knife to have. It's got a lot of great details, but it's still reasonably priced. And I think that they've done just a tremendous job. So if you're at all interested in the 562, whether it's the 562 CF or the a little bit more utilitarian kind of finished 562, I think they're both great, so I definitely recommend them. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Dan for BladeReviews.com. Take care, and I will be back soon with another knife review.